Okay, today's video about the most important organ of our body, which contributes to aging a lot. We have to consider how it works. And also, you know, that my concept of aging, that we are aging because our extracellular matrix gets cross-linked with sugar molecules. The collagen fibers are getting cross-linked with glucose and also oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acids, and then stiffening of the tissues is increasing. But more than this, it is the reaction of the healthy cells on this higher stiffness of the tissues, that healthy cells get transformed into senescent cells, or so-called zombie cells, and then they are hyperactive in the release of pro-inflammatory signal molecules, and this higher level of inflammation in our body develops with age, and then eventually it develops as exponential, rising exponential, and we are dying because of self-poisoning. Okay, but big part of in the aging, it is this. We will look at about this, the largest organ of our body. This is not skin. We have been told in school or at university that the largest organ of our body is skin. It is not. Okay, we will go. Okay, first I want to make some announcement that if you want to support my project, and then to get some pre-order of my book, then you can transfer some money, some funds to my bank account, and in future I will provide also some more privileges, like contact with Skype or WhatsApp or other messages. So you can ask me personally some questions, or maybe texting me the questions. This would be available for those people who support me. Okay, then to save your time, probably you don't want to go into details, and details will be presented in the book. And also this presentation is a little bit shorter than it should be. It is not all the chapter of the book what I present here. It is just some summary with not many references to scientific publications. And then also the recommendations of this video can be considered can be such that I advise you to reduce the consumption of carbohydrates in older age to 20 or maximum 50 grams per day, and where the upper limit corresponds to the days with intense and long physical activity. If you all day in physical activity, then 50 grams would be okay. But also, as carbohydrates, I recommend only honey. And not bread, not pasta, not pizza, nothing, or potatoes, or you know, fruits, whatever. Not honey, because honey can help you to grow muscles. And doses about 4 grams, it is teaspoon, after or before intense training, which can last maybe 5-10 minutes, but long enough to get symptoms of lactic acid produced in the muscles. So if you feel this in the resistance training, you get this feeling that your muscles are burning, then it is, you can use the honey. Also, honey can be consumed after a big protein meal, while following the carnivore diet. Again, as I said, maximum consumption of carbohydrates 20 grams recommended, or if it is very high physical training, 50 grams maximum. Okay, also teaspoon of honey can also be taken before bedtime for better sleep, and to release more growth hormone at night. And it is known that why 4 grams? Because it is known that maximum amount of glucose and fructose in our body, in the bloodstream, only 4 grams. And so the consumption of carbohydrates in amount over 4 grams per portion, yes, leads to an increase in the level of glucose and insulin in the blood. Hyperglycemia contributes to the development of cardiovascular diseases and chronic tissue inflammation, and however we need some increase in insulin level for muscle growth, and 4 grams serving of honey is enough for this purpose. As I mentioned before, a regular consumption of garlic, cloves, ginger is beneficial too, and I personally add these spices to the water extract of dill seed powder, and I drink maybe up to 5-6 liters of this water extract. It's a lot, and I believe it helps. Okay, then again, this video is about the largest organ of our body that is of paramount importance for health and longevity. It is the endothelium with a protective layer of glycocalyx on it. So don't pay attention much to these scientific words, glycocalyx. It is just, I will tell you what is it. The endothelium is a subclass of the epithelium tissues. It lines the inside of the blood and lymphatic vessels as well as the inner cavity of heart. Just like the epithelium layer on the inside of the small intestine, the endothelium consists of one layer of flat cells. For a person of average weight, the endothelium contains approximately 1 trillion cells. It's a lot. And for a long time, the endothelium was considered just a static barrier that provides selective permeability of the vascular walls. However, it turned out that endothelium is responsible for a wider range of functions. It is not only selective filtration of liquids and macromolecules, but also regulation of vasoconstriction and dilation, production of signal molecules to attract immune cells in case of damage of the blood vessel and the endothelium. This is schematically, I present this wall of the blood vessel, and you see the structure. So it is one cell, very small thickness endothelium layer, and then we have some elastic membrane and muscles, smooth muscle cells, and external elastic membrane, which is extracellular matrix, and then this endothelium cell can release nitric oxide, and nitric oxide production of nitric oxide gives the dilation of the vessels. Okay, relatively recently, so you see here it is just endothelium layer, nothing very simplified picture, but relatively recently it was shown that on the outer surface of the endothelium cells there is a protective layer of mucus, or glycocalyx in scientific words, which is up to half micron thick. It is really thin, half micron only. And this layer made from polysaccharides and blood plasma, which retained on the surface of the endothelium by long molecules like glycoproteins, glycolipids, and other long molecules. The total volume of glycocalyx, nevertheless, in a healthy person is about 2 liters. Just think, it is half micron thickness and 2 liters in total. It is a lot. And again, together with the endothelium, it is the largest organ of our body and of the paramount importance. In presence of the hyaluronic acid and other molecules, heparin, I will just, okay, you can read it, so I don't want to go to the scientific terms, but it provides a gel-like state of the protective layer of this glycocalyx, gel-like. And due to the presence of sulfur atoms in the glycocalyx, it is negatively charged. So it repels OH groups also negatively charged, and these OH groups are on proteins, on membranes of the of the blood cells, and so it it prevents the blood cells from adhering to the inside of the blood vessels. Thus, or blood vessels, or maybe the lymphatic vessels. Thus the formation of blood clots is suppressed due to Glycocalyx, due to this mucus. And negatively charged surface of Glycocalyx also repels protein and amino acids in the blood because they have OH groups, in particular albumin. And the Glycocalyx contains the receptors for various biologically active substances, as well as sensors of shear stress level in the glycocalyx layer itself. So here we see some picture with electron microscope, but you see only this brush of long molecules, so you don't see the way of this mucus, because if you to prepare the sample for to make a picture, you have to wash out all the liquid. So it is again, but it gives you some idea that half micron brush protects the surface of the endothelium, and this is some capillary, small size. It is again size of the capillary is less than 10 microns, and we have this endothelium layer. And capillaries also, they don't have the muscle cells, but nevertheless it is very important that they have this protective layer of Glycocalyx. Okay, then here it is at larger magnification. You see this brush like molecules. They are not growing from the epithelium cell. The epithelium layer is very, very thin, but it is just some molecules which are attached to the surface. And they are like matrix for the all Glycocalyx layer. Glycocalyx layer here, probably it is better to see. So you have this layer of Glycocalyx, and under high magnification you see these molecules inside. They work as sensors, and they attach to the surface of the epithelium layer. And the epithelium layer is very thin. You can see it probably here. So it's very thin, even in comparison with the thickness of the Glycocalyx. So, but nevertheless, importance of this organ is huge. So again, how it works? When the blood flow rate increases, or the oxygen content in the blood decreases, the endothelium cells produce nitric oxide to relax the smooth muscle cells in the blood vessel wall and dilate the vessels. Okay, they are getting wider. It is noticed that with age and with development of chronic diseases, the thickness of the Glycocalyx decreases, which leads to increased permeability of the endothelium to blood plasma proteins and adhesion of leukocytes and platelets and thrombocytes to the walls of the blood vessels. That is to local inflammation and thrombus formation, increased oxidative stress in the endothelium layer, and the loss of the ability of vessels to dilate when blood flow rate and local pressure are increasing. A decrease in the thickness of the Glycocalyx apparently contributes to the development of such diseases as senile degeneration of the body, or diseases of senile degeneration of the body, such as atherosclerosis, Alzheimer, kidney damage, vascular, infectious, and endocrine diseases. Moreover, hypertension and diabetes mellitus are associated with a decrease in the thickness of the Glycocalyx. And chronic increase in blood glucose level leads to a dramatic decrease in the thickness of the Glycocalyx and an increase in the endothelium permeability. Okay, so there is a publication on it. This is the conclusion, and this is again how it works. You have lymph or blood flow, and then you have this layer of Glycocalyx with long molecules inside. They are attached to the surface of the membrane of the endothelium cells, and when under shear stress, you are getting some deformation of the layer, and this deformation gives a signal to the endothelium cell to produce nitric oxide. Here may be more visible, so you have some long molecules which keep this layer, elastic layer, at the surface of endothelium cells, and then they protect the endothelium cells. They protect the wall of the vessel. And here you see very small capillary with size less than 10 micron, and this endothelium cell is just round and have nucleus, and then it is inside of the endothelium cell. So it is quite small size capillary. But you have, even with the small size capillary, you have glycocalyx, half micron thickness, and then blood go just through this capillary. Here again some photo of electron microscope of some capillary in red, and the glycocalyx, again a way of this glycocalyx. But again, remember that it is not glycocalyx all, it is only these molecules, long molecules presented. All this mucus is removed. But then what is interesting again, that some conditions again, when the rat is getting old, then the thickness of the glycocalyx is reduced, protection is reduced, but there are some medications which can help. So it is now we work with some people work to find out some drugs and how to recover the glycocalyx, how to improve this protective performance of the glycocalyx, and details are in my book. And again, quite many studies have shown that both acute and chronic increases in blood glucose significantly reduce the thickness and volume of the glycocalyx, supporting the idea that decreasing the glycocalyx thickness causes endothelium dysfunction. Okay, so without this protective layer of glycocalyx, endothelium just doesn't work. Yes? And permeability is getting higher, so all these toxins, pathogens, and blood cells can go through the layer of endothelium inside the tissue, especially in capillaries. And also the higher level of glucose is have consequences like higher production of active forms of oxygen, damaging of the endothelium cells, formation of advanced glycation end products in the vessel, so it is cross-linking of protein molecules with sugar molecules, and then the stiffness of the blood vessels is increasing. And also some enzymes are getting activated, which they destroy hyaluronic acid and some polysaccharides which are in the glycocalyx, and so entire glycocalyx can be destroyed just by higher amount of glucose. Okay, then it is known that people with diabetes are very hard to tolerate COVID-19. And it is also known that both the virus itself and vaccines against it may infect endothelium cells that are not protected any longer by glycocalyx layer. So people with diabetes, they have no protection. The glycocalyx layer is just disappeared, and then the virus can infect the cells of endothelium cells, or some of these proteins, special proteins, can mark the endothelium cells so that immune system recognize them as infected cells and kill them. Okay, so in response to the vaccine, the body producing spike proteins that can adhere to the endothelium cells. It would not happen if it will have glycocalyx, thick glycocalyx layer. But as it disappears, as it is destroyed, it can go to the endothelium cells, and then the body immune system it kills both virus-infected cells and cells which are labeled, marked with a spike protein. So what is happening is a disaster. Consequence is disaster. Why? Because it is we are getting thrombosis. People are getting thrombosis, very common after the vaccination or after or during the COVID infection. But also what we have this array of endothelium not only in heart and vessels, blood vessels, but also we have it in the womb, and in the in the balls of the man. Okay, in testicles. Okay, sorry my English. But okay, what is happening when immune system attack these cells which are marked, labeled with a spike protein? What is happening? You have reaction of the body, inflammation, and then your testicles are getting inflamed, maybe 10 times. And if you are lucky, you will not fertility, but what we have this, women are getting cycles not regular or very painful, or again it is big danger that they cannot get pregnant any longer. So it is really a big problem. But it is not for all people. Again, it is not for all people. It is for people who have high level of glucose, and they have no protection of glycocalyx. So people who have glycocalyx, virus is not damaging them. They're okay. Young people, kids, 12 years old, they have fully functioning glycocalyx, and then they just don't have any symptoms. Even if they have the virus, they have no symptoms of the disease. But old people with destroyed glycocalyx, and why this glycocalyx is destroyed? Because they rely on carbohydrates, and carbohydrates destroy high level of glucose, destroy this glycocalyx layer. This is why I say it is very, very important for old people to keep the carnivore diet, reduce amount of carbohydrates to 20 gram per day maximum, only to grow muscles, and be sleep better. And grow muscles and sleep better. If you sleep better, you produce more growth hormone, and all organs of your body will be recovered because of high level of growth hormone. So it is, again, you need it, but in small amount, very carefully. And I believe honey is the best because it has also some enzymes which help to digest food, and it is fructose in part are used by the endotheliums, and not only endothelium cells, but it used also by this epithelium cells in our guts. So epithelium cells, they can consume fructose and use it for energy. Not only ketones, not only butyric acid and other substances, but also fructose can be used as a fuel. But again, not much. So, okay, this my video. This my information about the importance of to restrict consumption of carbohydrates, especially in these difficult times when people are getting this infection. And again, if you compare number of deaths in the United States and let's say in Singapore and Hong Kong, big difference, 1,000 times. Why? Because in United States, people consume a lot of fast food, which is a lot of sugar, and a lot of also oxidized polyunsaturated fatty acids, and they destroy this glycocalyx. So they have no protection. They get an infection. The infection go very, very hard, very wild, and then they just passed away. In Singapore, people rely very much on on food of animal production of fish, seafood, and they are doing well. They are doing well. They don't like this fast food. So okay, you have to decide yourself what to do. And glucose is in old age is poison. Okay? You decide again if you follow recommendation of the doctors to reduce amount of proteins, then it can work. It can give you better feeling if you are on some standard diet, and which is a combination of hydrocarbons with proteins, and these proteins are not digested. They get into your guts and they are spoiled, and pathogens are eating these proteins, and they produce toxins, and toxins go to your blood, and you feel very bad. And if you remove these proteins, then for a while you feel better. But again, you will destroy all your body. Your body needs protein in amount 2 grams of protein, dry protein, to 1 kilo of your weight in older age. Such amounts. Yeah, and if you follow this my recommendation, it is more than 1 kilo of red meat or fish a day. And I do eat so much, and I feel good. I feel good. Muscles are growing, and life is fantastic. Okay, then it is my opinion, and so till now I have very little financial benefit from posting this video because and other videos, because I did it for myself. I am interested to rejuvenate my body, so this is why I work hard instead of making money. But I get some, okay, I have some more and more information about the aging, about how to rejuvenate body, but yet I would say I'm quite already advanced, at some advanced level, and I was making this video and book to structure my knowledge, and it is already at some good level, and I see how it works. I see how muscles are growing, how my skin is getting improved. So maybe I don't use all all findings which I got, but I work on it. So in time, I think it will work much better. So again, I'm not medical professional. It is just my personal opinion. And in my book, you will find some sources of the information, because I rely on scientific sources of information, not some popular websites or websites which are generated by some pharmaceutical companies. No, I follow strict science. I am a professional scientist. I can handle this. I can find out what is the cause of the problem, why we're aging, and I present my view why we're aging and how to reverse the aging, and I believe it works, but slowly, of course. Okay, but okay, I cannot give this medical advice to you because I'm not a medical professional. Discuss this information with your physician. Certainly, maybe you will be lucky to get good advice. I don't trust any physician. Only I have some few names which I respect a lot, physicians, and this is like Paul Mason from Australia. I rely on his opinion a lot. He is very, very good specialist, and he really taking care of people, and maybe a few more. But you see, this is my personal interest. I am 64 years old. In difference from all the people, most of the people involved in this research, I am old enough to make experiments on my body and to see how it works. Okay, I am flexible enough, and I am crazy enough to make this experiment on myself and see how it works, and then to take the correct way. Some people, even if they have good ideas, they may be too young to understand what is aging, because you have to feel it. You have to feel it, and you have to feel aging. You have to feel rejuvenation. And when I get this better mood and better endurance and better health, it is such a great feeling. Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. So you cannot buy health with any money. And if you are not supporting my project, okay, it's no problem for me. It's no problem. I'm just quite a selfish person. I do it for myself. But I can share some knowledge with other people if they support me. If not, okay, you follow advising of them, some people, scientists, which are, again, like David Sinclair. He is a Harvard professor, and Harvard University gives exactly such advice, that you have to cut consumption of protein, which is, I believe, crazy. It is absolutely against science, against general sense. And we have professor in this university who is giving you advice to take some supplements which increase the risk of cancer. And these supplements, they don't work even for himself, and so okay, it is up to you. But for me, of course, I yet not at the level of a younger age. Like I used to, in my age, like 35, I used to do like 200 push-ups, 200. Now I make 45, but it is better, it is increasing. I started maybe from 20, now it is 45 and increasing slowly. Yeah, okay, then it's just long way, but it is great feeling to see that you are not aging, you are getting younger, stronger, and okay, that's my fun from what I'm getting. This more than money I'm getting from this project. Okay, take care. Thank you for your time. Okay, take care.